Today we are working on this beautiful Dodge truck behind me. I've already created an X pipe to link in the middle in between the mid pipes and to lead to the muffler section in the middle. These are the mufflers that we are going to be using from Vibrant Performance. We had previously done manifold work on this truck a couple weeks ago, and now it is back for more work. Right now, I am going to be connecting a few more pieces in the middle to be able to connect this X pipe together. And once it's connected, then I will be able to remove one side, weld it up, connect the X pipe in the middle, weld that together, make sure that everything that is connected doesn't pull, so I can reconnect everything back into V-bands and move on to my muffler section. All right, so now I have my down pipe back on the table with my X pipe connected to the down pipe / mid pipe with a couple of bends in the middle and a small piece of straight. With this being now tacked up and everything kind of getting in the finalized position now, I am able to weld this up, get this slap back on the car, and keep moving along.
A 1968 Mustang here, customer car that we've worked on quite a few times. And we didn't do the build originally in-house. He purchased it after the previous owner built this vehicle. And the reason it's in right now is it's not reading speed. The reason it's not reading speed is there's a gear on the output shaft. You can see it up close. And this gear translates, or I should say connects to the speed sensor, which in turn has a similar gear shape to it in order to read the speed of the vehicle. Normally, this is on the output shaft with a black clip that holds it in place, but it seems as though whoever put this transmission together did not install the black clip because it is nowhere to be found in the transmission. So we're replacing the gear, which comes with the new clip, and we'll get this installed and we'll be able to read speed again. So here's the actual speed sensor, and inside the transmission, when this is on the output shaft, this is the old gear. This intertwines with the speed sensor in order to read the speed. So without this gear in position, it slid out of place on the output shaft, and that clip that was needed, that was missing, is the reason that it slid out of place. So now that we've got fresh gear and clip in there, the only reason we replaced the gear is because it was cheap, and when we ordered a new clip, they had an option to include the gear. So we went ahead and just replaced the gear since it's available and out of the car. It's always a good idea to put a fresh part in there if it's inexpensive. Cheap insurance, as I say. But now that we'll be able to read speed with our sensor, should be able to send the customer home happy. One other thing to note on this particular build, the way they have the transmission and the mounts and sub mounts for this transmission set up, the speed sensor itself was actually rubbing directly on the subframe, or I should say the rear transmission mount bracketry. And that in turn could lead to a failed sensor in the long run. So what we did is also install an extension cable on the sensor itself so that the sensor itself will hopefully not die prematurely due to physical damage. Just some proactive work on our part.
we're going to be putting in the old Hurst shifter back in place. It sandwiches right here on top of the transmission and makes a seal. After all the work has been done with the rear housing here, we got all the bolts semi-tightened, but tightened enough so that we can create a seal there. So got to torque those down as well. So we'll be putting the shifter from the bottom up because the billet plate here cannot fit through the hole that they created. And so when we get that done and get this installed, put it back up, and put the transmission cross member back in place. Now we got that guy in place. Now we just need hardware, tighten it down with 13 mils, and we'll call it that. And then just reassemble everything inside as well. Install it back into place and kind of do like an tighten it down, just like you're tightening down with valve covers.